Hi, everybody. It's David Orlofsky. Welcome to the Parsha in 5, where in 5 minutes we try to give you a little insight into the Parsha, sometimes a little more, because it's so hard for me not to say more than I want to say. It's very taxing for me to talk in only 5 minutes. But you understand that, Rabbi Orlofsky show always gives you a little more. That's how we are. And we're in Parshas Terumah. We talk about the building of the Mishkan. And you find in the building of the Mishkan, there's a concentric circles. The holier you get, it's more intensified. And you move out. So the Kodesh HaKadoshim is the most holy. And the Mishkan, the rest of the Mishkan is less Kadosh. And then the Chotzer Mishkan is less Kadosh. And then you have Shevet Levi, a little less Kodesh, and you have Machne Yisrael. But there's concentric circles. And one of the ways you see this is with the materials that are used. So the more you reach the center, the more you'll find gold. When you move outside of that, you'll find more silver. And when you move outside of that, you'll find more copper. Yeah. Now look at the parsha and you'll see how it is. Therefore, if I was to ask you a pop question, I'm going to build the Aron HaKodesh where I'm going to keep the luchos that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave. What should I make that Aron out of? I'm sure you would say, my goodness, you should make it out of gold. But they don't. They make it out of wood and gold plate. Well, why? They had enough money. They could have made the whole thing out of gold. So the Das Kanim asks this question. V'tzi Pisa, it was covered with gold. Roy haya Aron lihi zahav kulai. By right, it's the most kadosh. It should have been made out of solid gold, like the menorah was. Ella lefi she yihiyeh nasa bekatef, since it was carried by the Kohanim on their shoulders, v'yachbed yoser midai. And if it was solid gold, it would be too heavy for anybody to lift. It would have weighed tons. Ve'avogav de amrinan nosav nosei lefisha haya. He asked a question. In Yehoshua, we see that the Aron picks itself up and flies across the Yarden, along with the Kohanim who are holding on to it. So if it flies, who cares how heavy it is? A 747 is pretty heavy, but it flies, so who cares if it can fly? So make it out of solid gold. So the answer is maybe, he says, Lefi Sha'ahaya. Maybe that was one-time event. It doesn't really fly. Lahavdil, like the bicycle in E.T., where E.T. makes the bicycle fly. The bicycle doesn't fly. He just made it fly that one time. Afterwards, when he left, it didn't fly anymore. But if that's the case, v'kashali imkain lomanenesh uza. If that's the case, I have a question. How come when David HaMelech is bringing the Aron up to Yerushalayim, the oxen stumble and the wagon starts to shake that they were carrying the Aron in, and it looked like it was going to fall, and Uzzah runs over and grabs the Aron, and he touches the Aron, and he dies. So the Gemara asked the question, I don't understand. He was trying to save the Aron. And the Gemara says he should have made a kal v'chomer. Im ha'aron nosei es nosav. If the Aron carries the people who are carrying it, certainly it can carry itself. So I asked the Das Kanim, I don't understand. If that was a one-time event and it doesn't really fly, then why would he have made a kal v'chomer? There's no reason to assume that it flies. That was a one-time miracle. You don't assume the sea is going to split just because it happened one time. And you don't assume that the Aron is going to fly. So why should he have thought that? Ends the Das Kanim, Tzarech Ian, he doesn't have an answer. Now, as it happens, the Das Kanim and the Chizkuni were both Talmidim of the Bechor Shor. And the Bechor Shor does not ask this question, and neither does the Chizkuni. So they had an answer. And I want to suggest a possible answer. Aron nosei es nosav. When he says it was Lefi Shah, it doesn't mean it was a one-time event. It means whenever you needed it. It didn't always fly, but trust me, whenever it needed to fly, it could fly. People make the mistake of thinking, if I don't keep the Torah going, then Torah will die. If I don't keep Klal Yisrael going, Klal Yisrael will die. Don't worry about it. Aron knows is nosav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can keep the Jewish people around. He can keep the Torah going. You have the schus of participating in it. God was meicha on his kavod to make the Aron, the most important thing, gold-plated, so that the Kohanim could physically pick it up and put it on their shoulders. But don't think that if you're not there, that the Aron needs you. You just get the opportunity to support Torah. Good Shabbos.